They sponsor like every league.
Go. It's already started.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and we are back. It's been way too long. How long has it been?
Like 3 months.
Has it actually been 3 months?
Yeah, it's actually been like 3 months.
Jesus Christ! But we are back. What is this? The Deep Dive Podcast? Is that the name we settled on?
I think that's cool.
All right. So this is a podcast that we just deep dive. I was gonna say wormhole. Like a wormhole, you just keep going down the wormhole of thoughts and ideas.
Yeah, that's cool.
You know, but okay, well, we're still undecided for now. Then I guess we'll figure it out.
Or rabbit hole.
Or rabbit hole, the rabbit hole podcast. Yeah, the rabbit hole podcast, the wormhole podcast, the deep dive podcast. It doesn't matter what it is. At the end of the day, the premise of the podcast is just talk about shit that we have no idea what we're talking about. Like,
yeah, we actually have no clue what we're talking about.
We are not your source of information. We are just here to speculate, talk, investigate, just topics that interest us on a day-to-day basis. And you might hear something here and be like, oh shit, I want to go do more research, and then comment in the comment section and be like, yo, you guys are wrong, this that. If we inspired you to do more research on a topic, then we've done our job. And
yeah, you're actually so right, bro.
That's pretty much.
I never looked at it in that perspective. You're so right.
That's pretty much what it is. Like that's why I do this podcast, to be honest. Like I want people to go look into these topics, and so these are topics that we'll hear about. We'll do, I don't know. I did like 5 minutes of research on this entire thing.
I just heard it.
Yeah, so we just think, and then we pretty much just bounce ideas off each other, and and just see what we like, what we think is true, what we don't think is true. Is it a conspiracy theory, is it factual, whatnot. So that's the point of this podcast. All right. So before we start the podcast, we want you to subscribe to everything, YouTube, catch us on the go, Spotify, Apple Music, all of that. We're everywhere. There is no excuse. There's no excuse, pretty much. If you have a platform, if you have a social media platform, then you can follow us. So there you go. All right, let's start the podcast, guys. Iron Guy.
All right. So long time, but okay. So 2020 just started. Yeah. We're in 2020. January's done quite quickly, actually. I didn't expect January.
Oh no, January was slow as fuck. I don't. To me personally, this month, January is always like historically for me, January's always been like the slowest, brutalest, darkest months. Like it's just beginning of the year, you don't know what to expect. You're still okay. So like you have the holiday season, boom, happiest time, one of the happiest times of the year. You're so like you're going high, right? You're going high. Then it's a new year, and it's like, oh my god, like reality hits. It's like, yo, this is a new year. Oh, you have to set these goals. You have to kind of like think about. You have to give yourself a reality check, kind of, and you're just like, oh shit, it's like a whole year to like do shit, and I don't know if I'm gonna do this or what did I do last year. It's like it's a whole month for me of reflection, and I feel like that is the good thing about January's, and that's also the bad why it makes it so slow and so thin, because you're sitting there. It's mostly thinking about the month ahead, the year ahead,
It's like, yo, you set so many goals in January 1st, and then like 10 days in, you realize that you actually. Like you messed up on those goals, you're not gonna carry them on, and it makes you sad. Yeah. But I still think February is probably the saddest month of all.
Why?
Bro, first of all, in Canada especially, it's winter. Yeah. Right? It's like, oh, summer's coming, but summer's not here.
Winter in general is like
it's depressing as hell.
Yeah, it's depressing as hell.
But then, and it's Valentine's, and like all these couples are out there, and you're like, fuck. Shit, you know what I mean? Yeah. And like I don't know, February just has there's barely any holidays in February. Like it's just
No, I can feel you on February. To me, January, just because it's so slow and it just feels like it's dragging, and a lot of shit happens. Like this January, like there's a lot of shit that came out. Like first of all, if you guys watch our basketball podcast, we heard me and Wazir talking about Kobe Bryant passing away in a helicopter accident, which was tragic. Icon to a lot of people. I was actually reading a thing, and apparently it was like the reason why the pilot went down is because he was granted access to not use the instruments and use just his visuals because it was so foggy and stuff.
Oh, no way.
So when he got into visuals, apparently he might have gotten disoriented from the fact that he couldn't really see anything, and he probably crashed then. That's apparently what he got. He was granted a special visual access permit or some shit like that in the air. So he was like circling around the Burbank and stuff, and it was super, super cloudy. And they only grant it when clouds reach under 1,000 feet. And so clouds were under 1,000 feet. It was super foggy. So they granted him the visual one. So he was looking. His only markers, the only things he was using to fly were looking at the ground. I think it was only a 5-mile visual radius. For him.
Yeah.
And so pretty much he got disoriented, and then there's a mountainous area too, right?
Wow.
And he went down. So that's really sad.
They granted it over the radio?
Yeah. Apparently the road, like they directed him that route, and I think he asked for permission, and he did, because he's a very experienced pilot. Like he flies like Kawhi Leonard and a bunch of other people, right?
Yeah.
Kylie Jenner, all of them in that area. He's probably like the head, like the top dog. So yeah, like they granted him this access, and he pretty much got like disoriented. That's what they say. Like something happened where he kind of lost control and it went off course.
Wow,
Yeah.
that's actually because I know for like in flights and stuff, if there's foggy, they'll never give a VRF. I think it's called a VRF.
Yeah.
Like visual R.
Yeah.
Flight, right?
So the VRF is what he had initially, but once he was flying in the air, they gave him a SVRF, a special. Something.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So it's like just for it's for experienced pilots in those conditions and shit.
Wow.
Yeah.
So I thought it was a mechanical. Oh man, that's just sad.
Yeah, it wasn't a mechanical.
So it was air traffic control and the pilot that messed up.
Yeah.
Wow.
And that guy, the track record, like he's been like one of the safest pilots in the area. Like everyone was like saying nothing but good things about him. So like it's one mistake.
Yeah. No. Air traffic control causes a lot of mistakes for a lot like worldwide, even big commercial planes and everything. Air traffic control is a huge issue.
Yeah.
They can easily guide you to like a disaster.
Yeah.
And in foggy conditions, that's actually crazy.
Yeah.
It's sad though. Like a pilot error killed.
Yeah.
Like the greatest basketball player.
Kobe Bryant, his daughter, like stuff like that. But so that was one of the biggest things of this month. There's the whole coronavirus scare.
Yeah. Oh my God! Don't even get me started, bro.
Coronavirus.
Yeah.
What do you want to talk? What do you want to say about coronavirus?
Okay, coronavirus. People, I'm sad because like I was supposed to go to Thailand in like a week, and it got canceled because my sisters are too scared to go south because of coronavirus, right? So it's like, yo, people, it's such a huge pandemic over here in the Western areas, but in China and Hong Kong and stuff, it's not that bad. Because my brother-in-law was just in Hong Kong, like literally he came back today, or today or tomorrow he's coming back, and he's like, "Yo, everything's pretty normal there, yeah, but there's less people on the streets and stuff, but it's not that bad as back home. Like here, yesterday we went to IKEA to buy some furniture. My sister was hand sanitizing every 2 minutes. It's like the Western media, all they talk about is corona, but they don't really, touch up on the stuff that's corona's been there for like forever. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like. And we're well prepared for corona because SARS was a form of corona, you know what I mean? And then it just mutated to something else. Yeah. And low-key, I think Trump put it there. I'm telling you, bro. It's something. It's 100%. It's biological warfare at this point. I'm telling you, even though it's not legal, but it's a conspiracy that somebody put it there for a reason.
Why do you think that?
I think there's distractions, bro. Like you know what I mean? Yeah. A lot of viruses around the world are known to distract the whole entire continent or the world to think about that virus, nothing else. Yeah. Right? Like there's so much genocide, rape, and shit going on in India, and all around the world. There's the war that happened where what was the main
U.S. and Iran?
Yeah, U.S. and Iran. Maybe U.S. fucking put a virus there to distract them.
Tensions there, yeah.
You know what I mean? Like it happened on the same time. So I'm just thinking that maybe it's not biology that caused that virus after all, because you know what I mean. It came from snakes. Yeah, man. I don't think it was. I don't think it was biology.
So the story behind coronavirus, so from someone that hasn't really done research or anything.
I haven't either. Just saying.
So pretty much, what they want us, what they're trying to tell us is that a bunch of people ate bats. Bats snakes. No, it was bats.
It was bats? Yeah. I read snakes.
Oh, I think it might be both, but I heard bat soup was like one of the main causes of it. So a lot of people, the delicacy in Wuhan, China, called bat soup, fruit bat soup, and bats are known to carry a lot of diseases and stuff, right? Pretty much, people were eating bats without cleaning guts, without doing all that stuff,
disgusting,
and they were just adding it to a soup, and they were eating it, and to them, they thought it was like a delicacy because not a lot of people are having it, right? and I'm not gonna judge other people's like eating habits across the world because I don't know. Like, the people grow up in different areas. They have different like things. So, like Germany, people eat horses and stuff. We would never do that. Like
China eats dogs, bro.
China eat dogs. In Sri Lanka,
Disgusting.
we eat goats. Like like different parts of the world eat different things. I'm not here to judge. You guys do what you guys gotta do. However, there was a sanitary issue with this one, and bats that are known to carry a lot of diseases, that diseases went to humans. And so now humans, we're passing on a human to human to human to human, and
Yeah.
there you have the coronavirus.
Yeah. So
Apparently, coronavirus is not the name of the virus. They don't have a name for the actual virus. Coronavirus is a type of virus. Like SARS is a type of virus.
they do have a name for the like that this strand of virus. They do, but it's complicated.
No, but like they don't have like a media name. Like how like there's SARS and there's swine flu and like they don't have a media name.
They named this Corona next.
Because like I heard even SARS is a form of coronavirus.
Yeah.
So like apparently this is supposed to be more deadly because it's evolved.
Yeah.
Which is how it works. And I was reading some shit where it's like they simulated the worst case scenario about 65 million people could die.
To be honest.
I was like, yo, yeah.
Wow.
They said that the scientists simulated that a worst case, 65 million people. Like just based off the way
it spreads.
if everyone was touching everyone,
yeah.
boom, 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 and like it just spread like wildfire, not 65 million.
Yeah.
So which I don't think will come even close to that, but.
No, it won't, because they're already working on phase 1 of the
cure.
vaccinations.
Yeah.
Right, but it takes a while to go to human trials, so they're working on animals.
Yeah.
And I read an article on a news channel actually, and then it said that by early midsummer of this year, they'll probably roll out the vaccinations.
Oh.
Earliest would be midsummer. They roll out the vaccinations. I'm telling you, bro, humans are really quick when it comes to these things. They're really quick. Because, like, one thing about humanity is, like, if they're pushed to their limits in a certain, like, there's a catastrophe and you are pushed, like, humans are pushed to the limits and all the resources are working towards fixing that problem, they'll solve the problem.
Yeah.
No problem.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? They'll solve the problem. That's so cool about humanity.
Yeah. Like, there's always stuff like that, like swine flu, SARS, even the plague at one point.
Yeah, like the black flies, I think.
Yeah.
But I'm telling you, even if kaijus attack the shores of Earth tomorrow, humans will figure it out how to defend themselves.
Yeah, it might take a while, but they will figure it out.
Yeah,
of course,
together. That's so cool.
Yeah, they were like, and so let's talk about this whole why the media you think is blowing out of proportion.
Okay, this is my opinion. I just think the media has Western media has nothing to talk about, bro. Yeah. I'm telling you, like, for example, the other day on, I think, CTV News, right? I seen, like, there was, like, a couple cats in the tree. Literally, like, the stuff you see in movies. Cats in trees and the fucking firefighters trying to get it down. And they put that on the news. They have nothing to talk about. So when something huge like this happens across the world, the media, the Western media, automatically shifts to that and keeps pounding that down in people's heads. And like people like our moms, dads, sisters, they who don't really go out much, who don't really study all this, they watch the news all day. This is what they think, bro, that the coronavirus is gonna take over like a zombie apocalypse. Yeah. Like that's not what it is. Yeah. Do you know what I mean? I just think they're brainwashing the shit out of us. Yeah, because like if you watched news and like in an Asian country like Thailand, for example, we were at a restaurant, we were watching the news, and bro, the headlines were crazy. Like they'd be like 111 killed in Syria, or like a bomb went off in like Iraq, like actual headlines that were like and video clips that were relating to the place that happened, right? Even in India, like India's super propaganda, so I'm not even gonna talk about that. But so I think Western media is just brainwashing us, making us dumber, because the real world news never comes to us.
Yeah, I figure that too. Like, and even if it does come to us, it'll be like a little on the banner, like Syria 112 died.
It'll be avoided.
Drone strike or the what's it called? The general of the Iran army was killed in drone strike. Like it'll be right on the bottom. They won't even talk about it.
Exactly.
They'll be talking about like a contest or some shit.
Exactly. You know what I mean? So it's like government's probably controlling this shit because like the coronavirus. Now, that's something that the media has to talk about because it's health related. Western countries are known for their health. Yeah. So, like, we're safe here. The people there are dying. Oh, no, we got to do something. But it's just, it's just like the CTV, CB24, all these news channels. Like, there's some American news channels too.
Yeah.
They're just bad sources for.
Yeah, and that's the thing. You gotta really pick your sources. Like, the thing. Okay, so here's the thing that comes with like the internet. You get a lot more information. You can get false information, but you can also get a lot of true information. Like, this is a time where I don't think we can be blaming news channels as much or news stations and all that stuff when there's abundance of information. We just have to look. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like back, I think maybe I would say maybe 20, 30, 40 years ago, the only source they had was the newspaper. And that's like 100% controlled by someone else, right? They
Yeah.
can only get what they're fed, right? Maybe they can go to the library and read a book or whatever. Like, I don't know what you can do, but by the time a book is out about something, it's already been a long time. Now we have access to information before it even happens. Like, even okay, like I'm gonna relate this to the Kobe Bryant situation. When I seen the news, TMZ had posted it 3 minutes ago. So when I seen it, it was the first initial post 3 minutes ago at TMZ. I didn't believe it, but to put into perspective, I knew about Kobe Bryant passing away before his wife did.
Yeah.
Because his wife didn't know by the time that post went out.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Wait. So
That post, TMZ leaked it before the wife even knew.
How did TMZ know?
Because TMZ is actually known to have people on the payroll for LAPD, LA Fire, judges, all that stuff.
Oh shit.
They have people on payroll, so when they see something, they feed it right to TMZ for money, right? It's money at the end of the day. So the fact that I seen it 3 minutes after TMZ posted it, I knew about Kobe Bryant's death before his wife did. So there's this quick fire. That's what the internet does, right? It gives you access to information quick. If you look in the right sources, you can find the shit. Like, there are people online that will tell you coronavirus is not that bad. You just have to wash your hands and make sure you're not really coming in contact with a lot of people. You'll be fine. Stuff like that. Like, there are people out there that are gonna tell you the severity of it, or whether or not it's not severe, or the fact that there was a cure that someone got cured the other day.
Yeah.
Like you have to look at the right spots. Like, I didn't see anything about the cure until maybe the 6th link or 7th link. So like as people, it's we get fed wrong information. That's just due to where we are. But you also have to look into stuff yourself, right?
Yeah.
You can't just take everything at face value. You got to look and dig deeper. If you really want to know about a topic, if you really want to know what's happening in Syria, then you got to look into it yourself. Like, you have to dig deeper. You can't rely on the Globe and Mail to tell you. If you want to know why the Iranian war or the tensions between Iran and America started, you got to dig a little deeper. Like, I watched a couple videos, and essentially what I figured out was that the guy that they killed, I think his name is Qasim. Because I don't know his last name, but his name is Qasim. He's pretty much the leader of a bunch of militant groups in a long thing. So he pretty much stabilizes that area.
Yeah.
And plus Iran and Saudi have tensions, and Saudi's very good with America. There's a whole bunch of different things. Like so, like at the end of the day, you just gotta do your research. That's all I can say about that stuff. Like,
I think YouTube is a great source of news of any sort, or like in-depth topic research.
To me, YouTube is hit or miss, because it's a hit because for people that don't like to sit there and just read and don't really digest by reading, like, I'd prefer someone that makes it interesting and tells me, because I can learn it better like that. Like, I'm not gonna sit there and read a 16-page essay about article or whatever, But if someone's gonna explain it to me and tell me, and then I'm gonna be more interested in learning the topic, right? But on the negative side with YouTube and stuff, a lot of people's stuff can go unchecked. Like, I can sit in front of a camera, like, have it cropped out like that, and read. I can tell you, okay, this is why what can I say? Cigarettes are good for you. Come up with 3 points. I can just say it. I can say it with confidence and conviction, and look at the camera straight and post it. And there's no one there that can say, okay, no, that's wrong. I can stop all comments, so no one's gonna fact check me in the comments, and I just post it. And if a 13-year-old or a 12-year-old sees it, they'll be like, oh fuck, smoking is good because this guy said it. this guy seems pretty cool. Like, or like if I have like 10,000 subscribers, everyone's like, yo, this guy has to be right. He has 10,000 subscribers.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, there's that's the plus and the minus with the internet. You got to do your own research at the end of the day, no matter what. Like, you can look through as many articles, this, that. My biggest thing, I can't just watch one video or one person. I need multiple sources.
Yeah.
If I always take, like, I'll do research with like 5 different sources and take the points that are the same on all of them, and okay, that's true. 5 different sources confirm this. Boom. But if one place is saying, okay, if like, let's bring it back to the Kobe situation. If one place is saying his teammate was on the plane, one source is saying his entire family was on the plane, one source was saying that, like, he wasn't even on the plane. Like, you can't take everything at face value. You have to dig a little deeper. Okay, cool. Kobe was there. His daughter was there. And these 9 people were there. That was the majority. There's only a couple outlets that were throwing out his wife and Rick Fox, his teammate, and those guys were just doing it because they wanted to break the story fast and they wanted the clicks, right? So a good amount of the outlets, they played it safe and they're like, okay, Kobe's dead, Kobe Bryant passed away, and they don't know who's left. All right, so we at that point you're like, okay, cool, Kobe passed away, and then later on is when reputable sources came out, it's like, okay, cool, the daughter passed away too. Then you knew, right? You had to cross-reference everything with everything. That's the way I do it.
Yeah. Yeah. But that was a big shocker too. Like, everyone, like, still see, like, YouTube videos about Kobe Bryant's last moments.
It's good. It'll be all season, especially the basketball season.
Yeah.
All season.
Do you think the Raptors are gonna win? I don't know much about basketball. I think the Raptors are gonna win.
Not unless they make a move. But they're good, but they need a very good piece to win it all.
Yeah. Okay, so we're talking about the military a little bit right there.
Yeah.
I want to talk about drones, bro.
Yeah.
I think and this is something, like, I really wanted a drone, but then it's too expensive, so I'm like, I'm not gonna get it. But then I was looking into the technology behind it, and drones have evolved, bro. Like,
drones are crazy.
They came from the military, obviously. You know what I mean? And the military, like you said, did strikes with the drones. They always use the drones to do their dirty work.
Yeah.
But commercialized drones, they're getting really advanced. Yeah. Now they're getting to the point where if you, like, throw a ball at it, it'll catch and throw it back at you at the same point in the air. Yeah. And, like, like, they're getting so advanced that companies like Amazon are using these drones to deliver their packages. Now, Amazon does it a 5-mile, not in Canada because of their laws, but in America, like, a 5-mile radius around wherever the warehouse is, right? Yeah. So it goes out 5 miles, delivers it, comes back. Yeah. But Amazon's taking it to the next level, bro. What their plans are, this is so cool. Their plans are, so they don't have big warehouses in the middle of cities or, like, big stuff, So what they're doing is buying out malls to actually conduct all their stuff in, because malls are in the middle of the city, and it's easy. And they're buying out buildings, like vertical buildings. Oh, yeah. And what they're planning on doing is they're gonna launch drones from the vertical building. Oh. Yeah, in, like, the middle of downtown, for example. Oh. And then deliver it through drones, like, on top of the building or wherever, and have a system to take the packages down or whatever it is.
That's crazy.
Right? So it's like a beehive structure. So there's gonna be like a literally like a bullet-shaped building with, like, a whole bunch of drones just flying out and charging, and, like, on top of street lamps, there's gonna be charging pads for the drones and stuff like that.
Jesus Christ.
So
it's like Spider-Man.
Yeah, so that technology is so cool. Like, we're actually at the... It's like, cell phones, we had a peak. TVs, we had a peak. And now we can't go beyond a certain peak. So they're at the peak level of innovation. TVs, like, what are you going to do? Like, make TV thinner? No, it's not. It's already thin. It's already 100 inches.
At this point, it's gimmicks,
At this point, it just gets bigger and bigger, which, you know what I mean? Yeah. Like, even our cell phones are pretty much hitting the peak. Like, the only thing left to do is probably put the cameras behind the actual screen.
Yeah, and, like, a fingerprint sensor behind the screen, and, like...
And, yeah, like how we have cameras above the screen, the best thing is... Next thing to do, put it behind the screen, and then what the hell you can fix? That's it. Done.
Exactly, yeah. And battery, probably.
Yeah, so... we're hitting all these, like, peaks, and I feel like the next race is the drone race. Yeah. Like, people are trying to be the best at the drone, and it's kind of scary to what extent that'll go, because Amazon's already gangster at it. Yeah. Right, they can pick up a package, drop it at your front door, see if there's any cars at the front door, trees, anything, obstacle avoidance, like, whatever it is. Yeah. So that's interesting what they're doing with that. I hope. There's another thing about Amazon actually. A good opportunity to make side money is Amazon Flex. There's no warehouse around our area. Otherwise, I would have tried it out for sure.
Yeah.
But there's one being built. So after that, because like Amazon Flex is basically an Uber for delivering packages for Amazon. So on your schedule and everything, you go to the warehouse, pick up some packages, drop them off, and you get paid a good amount of money to do that. So that's a lucrative side opportunity for making some extra cash if you need.
Yeah. That's crazy.
But yeah, so unfortunately, I can't get a drone. It's too expensive unless somebody wants to sponsor the podcast.
If we get a million views right now, we'll buy a drone. We'll do some fuck shit with the drone. Not drone, like bro, like the craziest thing for me seeing now, like okay, like I see my cousin or like get a small drone and they play with it. Like I remember at one point, like remote control cars were like,
bro, they were big.
That was like, yo, what the fuck? Like that was
Thing.
like, yo, I'm like, yo, technology is so sick. Like I can control a car and it'll go 100 meters and come back. Like, you know, I thought that was crazy. Now it's like, yo, kids are shooting out drones and flying it instead of kites. Like, you know, it's crazy. Like it's just, and then they have cameras on them. You see like HD. Some of them have 4K cameras. Like it's just drone technology. Really, it wasn't something I wasn't paying attention to. But like the fact that it's there now, it's pretty crazy.
Yeah, like even this regular commercial ones that we can get, they go like 4 or 5 kilometers out in the city traffic. Do you know what I mean? Like you can, it's kind of creepy because you can literally go and spy on your ex's house.
Yeah.
You know, that's so creepy. But like all that shit's possible now, and these things go like 60, 70 kilometers an hour. They go fast as shit. Their batteries are getting like, I think the DJI's top line drone has a 31-minute battery, which is it's okay. You know what I mean?
The one thing about a lot of things right now. I think the first person that updates fucking like the battery tech for everything, for phones, for drones, like all that shit. I think battery tech is the only thing that's severely lacking. Yeah, in my opinion.
You think so?
Yeah, everything from fucking laptops. Like okay, the max what you get 12 hours for a laptop.
Yeah, like 14? 11, 12 hours. Yeah, maybe
14. Phone 1 day.
Yeah.
Drone 30 minutes. Like, I feel like if the next company that really revolutionized battery tech, I don't know why people aren't doing it. I think only Tesla is doing a couple like they're doing experiments on batteries and shit. Other than that, I don't really see a lot of people trying to push battery tech. I feel like whatever company does that could be the next like $1 billion company or billion, you know, like
yeah, 100%. Tesla's doing a lot of battery stuff, but like
there's more for their cars and their homes.
Yeah, exactly. It's not for us. You know what I mean?
It's not like at the lowest level like phones and AAA batteries. You don't really use AAA batteries anymore and shit. I don't know.
Actually, you know, like the AAA batteries are this big, right? Actually, you do use them for mouses and stuff, but they're this big. Mm-hmm. So Tesla's car batteries are literally a bunch of AAA batteries put together.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So like it comes in big bricks, like basically the size of this board almost. Yeah. And all of them, it's basically what it is. It's just these batteries, a little bigger than AAA battery, but batteries all put together, like thousands of them.
Oh yeah.
Put together, and they're all connected, and they're all chargeable and everything. Oh, so that's how a Tesla car battery is. It's a bunch of batteries.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah. So that's why if you see some commercials, you see them showing off their battery.
Yeah.
That's what it is. It's inside the car.
Oh.
Yeah. But on the topic of Tesla. SpaceX is doing some serious damage to the space industry, bro. Like serious damage, because like just a week or two ago, they had their flight abort test. So basically, flight abort test just means when you're preparing a rocket for a launch and that has a crew in it or something that needs to be aborted of high value. So they do an abort test, right? So that went extremely successful. So Elon Musk in his interview said that they're aiming to get people on that Dragon capsule. So it's like a Dragon crew, that's the name of it. So it's like a little capsule, probably like the size of this room, that goes to space, takes people up, puts them into the International Space Station, and just comes back down. So they had a success with that. And in March is when their aim is to actually put people on there and take them up to the International Space Station.
Just regular people.
Just regular people. Oh, no, not regular, astronauts. Oh. But like, because it's the International Space Station, right? Yeah, so astronauts. So that's probably the first time a commercial space vehicle is going to actually have people on it,
Yeah.
right? So that comes to like the point of space is now going to be commercialized after that test goes successful.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? So tourism is going to go up for space, which is going to be interesting. Hopefully we can afford it when we're like 50.
Yeah.
Because like it's expensive, you know. I don't know how expensive it's going to be.
It's probably like 22 million a ride.
There's that Chinese guy who signed up for a ride and he
Yeah.
paid like a couple $100 million or something like that.
Really?
Yeah.
100 million.
Some along those lines, like high up there.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah, he paid Elon already, and they already got an interview going and everything. It happened like a year ago, bro.
Oh.
Yeah, but he's like, I want to be the first guy that you take into space. So he's the guy.
That's
Apparently he's some Chinese playboy. Like he's
Oh yeah.
yeah, he demolishes for days.
Yeah.
But so that's so cool because NASA does not have the capabilities of doing low Earth orbit anymore because it's just too expensive and this and that. So NASA's really relying on these commercial vehicles to take them into space and do their stuff, right? So the growth for NASA is great when commercializing happens. And actually, Richard Branson, Jeff Bezos, and Elon Musk are kind of in the race to finish this off because they all have their own space companies.
Yeah.
And I think the most heavily funded is probably Blue Origins, Jeff Bezos.
Oh.
He takes out $1 billion from his personal to fund that. $1 billion a year.
Yeah.
Can you imagine going to the bank and be like, I need $1 billion transferred here? Like he actually takes out $1 billion a year to fund that from his personal assets.
He's the guy. How that's the highest funded? $1 billion?
Well, that's the most steadily funded, right? Because SpaceX gets funded heavily from all these investors upon the success of their tests.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Whereas Blue Origin can fail 50 times. This guy's still going to fund it 50 times.
Billion, yeah.
Do you know what I mean? It's like that. I think Virgin Galactic is not doing so well in this category, but they're
Branson?
Richard Branson, but they're more focused on commercializing space for tourism. That's what they're really focused on, like all their spacecraft and stuff. It's based on tourism specs and stuff like that. So just putting a person on, bring him down.
Yeah.
I think that's going to be a huge industry
Massive.
in the next like 30, 40 years.
Massive.
So I think he's going to capitalize, his children, because he's probably old as shit, but his children are going to capitalize huge on that because the research is almost done. And, like making rockets, it's fairly complex. Like you can't make a rocket just from having 100 million.
Yeah.
Like that 100 million, you're rich. Like you're super rich at that point. But you can't make a rocket because you need more.
Yeah.
So there's no way anyone is just gonna create an app on their phone and it's gonna go crazy and it's gonna change the world like Mark Zuckerberg did for Facebook. You know what I mean? In rocket tech, that doesn't happen.
Yeah.
Because it's practically impossible because of the high startup rate.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's only up to these billionaires basically to start these companies.
Definitely.
And the fact that these three have actually taken the first step in history to do that is huge. And that commercializes low Earth orbit. Yeah. Right? So even when we talk about Elon Musk's plan, Starlink to have internet across the world, I think we talked about that on one of our podcasts. Yeah. Like anything, bro, from that to anything. Like you can put a football in space. Yeah. At one point, maybe like when we're old as shit, that'll be the norm to put shit into space. Yeah. But it's an interesting future. Jeez. With all this.
Would you go?
Yeah.
If I told you I'd pay for your trip.
100%, bro. Yeah. I'd be the first one to go, and the rocket would blow up, and I'd be like known forever. Yeah. Right. Like, that's the thing. Even if rockets blow up with people in them, I don't think it'll have that big of an impact because NASA's, I believe, Columbia 1 rocket, this is the space shuttle that went up and on descent, one of the heat shield panels, one of the cubes, it just fell off and it blew up. Yeah. And that stopped the entire NASA program for like 11 years, long years. It just stopped, and the public's like, no, NASA's not doing this, like blah 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 blah. But the thing is, on a commercial basis, when a company is performing these things for their own profit, even a Samsung phone blows up is not gonna stop the Samsung line. Even if the public's saying, "Yo, Samsung phones are garbage," they blow up. Yeah. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, they suck at blind.
So exactly. So space is very interesting at this point because one, a lot of money is going to be made there from private sector. 2, nothing's going to stop the private sector. Yeah. Because nothing can stop the private sector because they're after money, right? And 3, that's going to help all of human race. Yeah.
But then that pushes if that just normalizes going to space, and then that means like the researchers, they have they have a higher platform to start from, and they can just keep going higher.
Exactly. Yeah.
Higher.
The president of NASA said this in the interview with Elon Musk. He's like, look, these guys are gonna focus on getting us to space, and we're gonna focus on getting from space and beyond. You know what I mean? So there's like so much research to do in low Earth orbit and above, but NASA's continuously focusing on how to just get to low Earth orbit.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So after they're focusing out there, they're gonna have huge amounts of like capital and energy to focus on the rest. And he's even like, yo, like we can't just focus on the success of SpaceX. Like that's stupid for us to do because there's no redundancy there. Yeah. So we need to make sure that there's a lot of private companies that are making a lot of progress in getting us to low Earth orbit, and that's in our best interest.
Yeah.
Right. So I'm really excited for to see what NASA has, but NASA's a slow beast.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So and like because their space is increasing, like the militarization of space is also kind of increasing, right? And which in turn kind of helps us because technology is going forward, right? Like because of all the innovation that goes into going to space, we're gonna have new shit. Like we're gonna have a lot of new shit that we've never even thought of or heard of. We're gonna have a lot of it. Like who would have ever thought of a drone? I never thought of that shit. Like we're gonna have that. Do you know what I mean? So yeah, it's interesting. What's gonna happen?
Definitely.
Yeah, even with like and like shit, man. These big companies are just they're doing so much damage to the world right now. Like in a good way. Yeah. Like SpaceX, Amazon, and stuff.
Yeah.
For example, Amazon's future. I was watching a documentary and it's like Amazon's so heavily focused on mastering getting their products to their customer as fast as they can. Yeah. Do you know what I mean? Because 100%. Because if Amazon were to open a big retail shop like Walmart and put it somewhere and then everyone would, like the traditional way, they would get demolished in a second. So that's why Jeff Bezos was so interested from day one to open something that no one has done before, which is online retail, and get the customers faster. So now with the integration of Alexa, which is huge, Alexa, it's basically data mining everything, the shit out of us, like Google Home does for us. You know what I mean? Yeah. It just listens to us, data mines. Yeah. And they're taking it even more steps further. Now Alexa's in the new Lamborghini Huracan, right? I don't know if you've seen the Lamborghini commercial, but Alexa's integrated into Lamborghini Huracans as an add-on. So it's like Alexa, turn on my headlights, or Alexa, play this, or Alexa, seat warmers, whatever it is. So Alexa's getting integrated into cars. Alexa's getting integrated into hotel rooms, and it's smart because they're not just going into like hotels and redesigning the whole thing and being like, okay, we need Alexa into this hardwired. It's not like that, right? They're like put smart plugs, this and that. Yeah. They're doing that. They're going to groceries. They're getting smart carts, and I don't know if you've heard, but they have physical locations for Amazon too. Yeah, like Amazon stores where you just literally just go and take the thing and leave, and it scans to your card. Yeah. My friend actually went to Seattle and he was telling me about it. I think it's called Amazon Go or something. Yeah, Amazon Go. You literally just go in, take it, and you leave, and it scans to the card. Yeah. It's crazy. And they have smart carts. Really? So, smart carts, yeah. Like the carts, they're just smart. So like they remind you of your list. They tell you what your balance is in the car, like all that shit. Oh, you know what I mean? And that's an Amazon stuff. So Amazon's really like messing shit up because that Alexa thing, they're actually putting a lot of money and faith into the Alexa thing to make them a lot more richer than they are. Yeah. Because now they're coming out with personal household robots that follow you around with like towels, and you'd be like, go get me a towel, and he'll get you the towel. Yeah. And like shit like that. So like they're making a butler for everyone. Yeah. It's like take out the groceries from the cart, and it takes out the groceries from the car, or like opens the door, like all that shit. So it's like we're really in the cusp of the future. Yeah. Yeah. And that kind of excites me because like we're not MKBHD, but we like cool shit lying on the table. You know what I mean? Who wouldn't, right? Yeah, like this Amazon thing. I mean, Google Home thing still surprised me. I think Google's gonna take an L compared to Amazon though, which I was kind of sad for because I like Google better. Yeah, I like the Google one better. It's just more. It goes with our phone and stuff more, but like. Oh, you think Alexa's gonna pass it up? I think so. Why do you think because so? Google doesn't have the capacity to match what you need right now. Google can show you ads, and then you have to wait for shipping, and you have to go through payment process, and you have to go through all that. Alexa can match that to you ASAP, right? You can literally to be like, Alexa, order milk, and I'll order milk. You can't tell Google that. You know what I mean? So Alexa has a whole backing infrastructure for matching what you need right now, rather than this. Because this, you can be like, I need curtains, and it'll take you to IKEA, and then you have to go through IKEA, and you have to wait like 2 weeks.
Yeah, there's no middleman with the other ones.
Yeah, exactly. So I think that, but phone integration, actually, Amazon had a phone, forgot what it's called, and it horribly failed. It was a failed project.
Fire stick or some shit?
No, that's like TV, for their TV.
It was like a Fire something.
Something like that. So Amazon had a phone, and it failed miserably. Like, they invested millions into it, and it still failed. Nobody even knows about it. I think one person bought it, and that was Jeff Bezos' grandmother.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, literally one person bought it. So like Google owns the phone ecosystem when it comes to Android. Apple has nothing against, like, Apple's nothing compared to Google. So yeah, it's a big day for the future, bro.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Big day for the future.
Yeah, I feel like we're really on the doorstep of the future. Like, with 2020 coming in, we're very on the doorstep of the future. Like, I think the next few, like, the past decade, there's so much advanced technology that brought to a point where it's like, that future that we pictured in our head when we were kids is like in the next 10, 20 years. Like, it's like these next 10, 20 years, it's going to really evolve to a future that we don't really recognize right now.
Yeah. It's hard to predict because, like, what we saw, like, is like what futuristic movies would be was like a bunch of flying cars and flying trains going throughout the city, right? But nobody thought how that was all built, because that major, huge, big commercial technologies like that take smaller innovations at the bottom. Yeah. And those smaller innovations is what really changes your life. Yeah. Do you know what I mean? So it's like those small innovations are going to be crazy. Yeah. Like, I don't even know. I can't. It's like, it's impossible to get your head around what's actually coming with technology now. Yeah. You know? But with technology, so, like, our careers are also changing with that. Right? Like, for example, a couple of years, like, I'd say like 7-8 years ago. Yeah. A simple career, and this was interesting because I was listening to a podcast with Tony Robbins, and then he was saying this. It's like 8-9 years ago, our careers were very linear. Yeah. Right? Like, I'd be focused on either going and making my own business and making it bigger, or going to a corporate and going up the corporate ladder. And that was the most popular choice, going up the corporate ladder, right? And now it's getting near difficult to impossible to do the corporate ladder route, because it takes 20-30 years in the same location to do that. Yeah. Do you know what I mean? To start from the bottom and go up, like, that takes years to do that. No. And it takes a lot of skills to do that, right? So I think the best way to look at a career now is like kind of like a mosaic puzzle piece. Do you know? Especially for you and I, because we're not going to do that corporate ladder bullshit. Yeah. Like, that's not us. You know what I mean? And a lot of majority of people are not like that anymore, right? So I think the best career route would be like a mosaic piece. So this is what I'm trying to implement too. It's like, you find out what you kind of like, because passion is hard to find unless you're a lucky few, right? Like, passion is extremely hard to find. Yeah. So it's like you learn one thing, right? So I'm gonna use the example he used, which was this girl who likes cooking, right? So now she's cooking in a restaurant, and now she's writing cookbooks. She's teaching cooking on the side, and she's also doing some other cooking related activities. So now she has a mosaic of income streams and things that are happening in the same space she's in, right? So she no longer needs to climb that corporate ladder to feel successful and to feel that more money to come in. She can have a mosaic of pieces. Yeah. And I think that's the best career for anyone, including myself. Like, that's what I'm trying to do with, like, tech, because I kind of like tech, and I kind of like the flexibility it gives you, the working from home, working with clients, blah blah blah. So I'm trying to do that with web design and other IT related stuff. So I think that's very smart. Yeah. What he said. So I just wanted to talk about that.
That's crazy.
Yeah, you know what I mean? Like imagine, like, find your passion. It's so simple. Find your passion. Find like 10 different things you can do with it, and do them all. Yeah. And then at the end of the day, you'll feel fulfilled somehow because you like doing what you do. Yeah, yeah. Right?
And it'll make you money.
Yeah.
Hopefully.
Yeah, I mean, hopefully, right? But, like, if you like kickboxing, go open a kickboxing gym, learn how to kickbox first, and go from there, you know? Yeah. So that's interesting.
Yeah, this definitely the age of where people are gonna get less like engineering jobs and more like creative jobs. Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
like,
exactly.
People are gonna be like they're gonna be more inclined to be a painter or designing fucking like I don't know photographers or podcasters, YouTubers, shit like that. All the creative stuff. It's really gonna like it's been spiking because people see the money in it. But I feel like a lot of the people that fail, they're gonna drift off. But when you have a passion for it and you actually like doing it, like I like doing podcasts, so that's why we're still doing it. Like it's been like a year now. Like a lot of people would quit after 6 months because
Exactly,
they don't
yeah.
see the growth, right? For a long time, we haven't seen a growth, right? But like you just gotta stick with shit, and that's what it is, pretty much.
Yeah, and on top of that, like you're right about the creative thing. Like that's dead on because, like engineering jobs, like you said, bro, I'm probably gonna get replaced by a robot in like the next 6 years.
Yeah.
A robot's gonna replace what I do. You know what I mean? Like networking, and so it's no longer the area of like getting good at one skill and just develop it. You have to change. Like I went to an interview like last week, and they were talking about like 8 new technologies where they're like, yo, we need somebody to know this, right? And the person's like, because we don't know it ourselves. It just came out, but our business requirement is to know these technologies. So we're looking for someone who knows this kind of shit, right? Because they don't even know it themselves. So it's changing so fast, it's impossible to keep up with the changes that's happening out there.
Yeah.
And because of that, freelance 35% of America is actually, or 37% of America is actually all employed by freelance. So stuff they do on their own, right? Like contractors, this, that. And in the next coming year or two, that's apparently about to go up to 45% of America being employed by freelancing.
Yeah.
So that gives us room. Because I'm looking into my web design stuff and I'm like, yo, this might be interesting. Is it a phase? I don't know if it's a phase. Will I fail? I probably might. But you know what I mean? It's still something to try at.
It is definitely.
So yeah, you will be depressed and you'll be sad from my experience if you just stick to one linear growth.
Yeah. And I think I forgot someone said this to me, but like we're the generation of side hustles.
Yeah.
We're like the generation of like, yo, yeah, I have a job, but here I'm gonna do this podcast on the side, or I have a job and I'm gonna do web design on the side, or hey, I have this job and I'm gonna teach basketball skills on the weekend, or hey, I have a job but I'm gonna teach boxing or yoga on the weekend. Like you know, we're the generation of a side hustle. Like I can probably name maybe 2 or 3 people that I know that don't have a side hustle.
Yeah.
Like almost everyone I know has some sort of or has attempted some sort of side hustle, like you know.
And people that usually don't have a side hustle, their personality is very linear in that way that they have no motivation for that stuff. They just want to live their life as they live. You know what I mean?
And that's not an issue either. Like
it's not.
You choose to live your life you live. Well, a lot of people that are obsessed with or not really obsessed with not obsessed. Sorry, wanting to get ahead. They resort to side hustles because they know that I have to work this job for the money, but this job is not really fulfilling for me happiness wise. So I have to do these other things as well that will make me happy, or I have to do these other things as well that will make me money because this job doesn't make me as much money as I need. Like you know, there's different reasons why people side hustle. People side hustle because their job doesn't make them happy, so they need to do shit on the side that does make them happy, that does fulfill them. Some people need a side hustle because they need more money. Some people just side hustle just because of side hustles. Like, you know, like it's a cool thing.
Yeah.
You know,
so
makes you busy, all that stuff. So yeah, like, you know, this is a generation of the side hustle for sure.
It's like it's a puzzle. You just get a bunch of side shit, put it together, and hope you can live it.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Yeah, and hope you can pay rent. Yeah, exactly. All right. Is that about it? I think so.
Yeah, I think it's good.
All right. So thank you guys for watching this podcast. If you haven't liked, comment, subscribed, shared, liked, followed, everything, anything positive towards this group, because we're all about positive vibes and vibrations. So anything positive towards our podcast, please do it. I am Shanthosh. That's Gaurav. Thank you for watching our podcast. Have a great day.
Peace.